Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we got a special guest, Mr. Chet Thomas.
That's special, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No, you're special, bro. Trust me.
It's that hard flip of yours.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Man, we'll talk about hard flips, frontside flips, all kinds of flips.
Frontside flip, frontside grabs, all that shit.
We'll talk about everything. Man.
Whatever you want to talk about.
A-team, commercials,
Shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? You want to start?
Huntington Beach.
Let's go back to let's. First of all, how are you,
I'm very good.
dude? Thanks so much for coming, dude. This is amazing.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, seriously.
Thanks for the invite.
Oh yeah, man.
Saw
of
Mr.
course.
Hart at the Autotelic premiere. He's like, "You got to do it." It's like, "All right, I'll do it."
Yeah. Everything's good.
Yeah,
you got
busy. Things
busy.
are good. 2 kids, 2-year-old, 4-year-old, amazing wife. Still handling stuff at Dwindle, helping with merchandising.
Okay.
Darkstar brand management, doing a lot of real estate stuff.
Oh,
so,
you got a full plate.
full plate. Yeah.
How do you manage?
That book I showed you.
Yeah, you did. You have a pretty gnarly day
a
planner.
planner.
Yeah, like week planner, month planner,
Year planner,
year,
quarterly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Break it all down. It's the only way to handle it for me, at least.
Right. Yeah. No, seriously, you need something, right?
Yeah.
When you're that busy,
Yeah.
because you're just gonna forget stuff,
It's just
right?
prioritizing and making sure you're spending your time in the highest and best use possible.
Right. Right.
Or else the days slip away from you, then the months and the years, and
Yeah.
before you know it, you're
Not
like,
the day away.
fuck.
And my philosophy too is like, if I'm doing something and I can just cut 5 minutes off of that, that's like gold.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if I can do something and if it usually takes me 10 and I can do it in 5, I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Winning.
Yep.
Hashtag. Yeah.
Yeah. Kids, having kids really helped me with that too.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, because you don't have as much free time as you used to.
Okay.
And you really have to prioritize like what's most important for you to
Right.
handle when, you don't have a kid on your right arm and a kid in your left arm.
Sure. right. And the 2 terrible twos. That's what they call it, right? Is it?
Yeah,
does that
I
have
think
any truth
I think
to it?
3 is a little gnarlier than 2. But my girls 4, my boys 2, my little boy's just a madman compared to my daughter.
Really?
Yeah, and our daughter was like perfect baby, no problems, still amazing, our little princess.
Sure.
Right? But the boy is just, he'd already be climbing the walls and trying to climb the fridge and jump off the countertop and the table and like pulling cords, sticking his...
Doing hard flips already.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It must be crazy, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, before
it's
the show,
rad.
even you said like he'd go up to the TV and try to swipe the television like
the
left and
kids
right.
these days, it's insane, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we were lucky if we got a clicker with a cord on it, and
Seriously.
he falls asleep watching an iPhone, and walks up to the TV and is like, "Hey,
I can't swipe.
it's not working."
I can't swipe this thing. Change the channel.
Back to it. Things are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Right. Dwindle's good. Darkstar, all that stuff.
Yeah, solid.
Sick.
There's always, there's challenges with every business.
Sure.
And, Darkstar's a mature brand.
Yeah.
So we have our challenges, but it's rad. I get to work with my brother. He's the
There you
creative
go.
director. We
Okay.
started it together in 1997.
Right.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
past 20 years.
Yeah.
That's a good accomplishment.
You started it after the A-team went down, and then
Yeah.
you were doing wheels.
Yeah, so started it out of my garage. My dad used to do Amway. It was a multi-level marketing thing. Sold, dishwasher soap and shampoo and vitamins and
Interesting.
shit like that.
Okay.
So he had like a little warehouse set up in our garage, and he got out of that business. He's a dentist, so his main business was dentistry, of course, and he did
Yeah.
that stuff on the side. And 1997, I just got on Globe and had a conversation with Gary Valentine, like, hey, I think I want to start a brand. What do you think I should do? He's like, what's not going to cost a lot of money? What can you store in a small amount of space? What can you, subcontract to OEM supplier?
Right.
And, my brother being a graphic artist, just graduating San Luis Obispo with an art degree, or a graphic art degree. He did all the first graphics. And I was like, wheels. I'll do wheels.
Yeah.
So it was like
Right.
the last $10,000 I had in my bank account I spent on the first production run.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
$10,000. I just cleared all the Amway shit.
Just get
Threw it away, replaced it with wheels, built a little gate that blocked off a certain section of the garage with a lock just in case anyone broke in. They couldn't get my shit.
That's gnarly. Take your last 10 grand and just try to start this brand.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. Everyone tells you don't do it.
Well, skating, it's a shot. Like, sometimes shot in the dark.
It's only Spitfire. It's only Bones. It's only You're like, yeah, but
there's room.
Yeah. Make a good product, you can sell it.
Yeah,
and he had a good team too.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and the wheel team, it was very large at that point. I felt like.
Well, when I first started, it was Mako Urabi, Gershon Mosley, Frank Harada, Ryan Kenrich, and myself. That was it.
Okay.
You
kind of grew it further than that, though.
What had happened was after the first year, the wheel manufacturer saw the numbers I was doing because I just talked to all the distributors that I, did tours with.
You're like, hey, Chet Thomas.
You want to buy some wheels?
Yeah.
Please? They're like, yeah, I'll take 100. I'll take 100. And then after a year, the wheel manufacturer's like, hey, who are you selling these wheels to? Because you're like selling more than some of our established customers. I'm like, just people I know.
Yeah. Right.
And then they actually licensed it from me. We tried to grow it a little bit, and when I got the license, or gave them the license, the deal was, okay, we need to develop our own urethane that you don't sell to everyone.
Interesting.
Right? And that's how we developed the master urethane formula.
How do you develop urethane?
Well,
do you go into a lab? Or do they just give you samples?
It's chemists, and they know certain curatives and processes and all that type of shit.
What makes it? I don't understand. Explain this process to me.
I mean, there's certain attributes that have to do with abrasion resistance. Anti-flat spot stuff.
Sure.
Rebound, which has to do with speed.
Okay.
And it's like a puzzle piece. You're putting all the pieces together, and you could bake this for a certain amount of time at a certain temperature, and you're going to get a certain outcome. So it's the chemists that really know the fine balance, and then it's people like us,
the testers,
put them under our feet and can really know the difference between something that actually works and something that's shit.
So do you go get the wheels and go out and do like 1,000 blunt slides and see?
Yeah, I wouldn't even go that far. I'd just push as fast as I can in a fucking parking lot and right into a 4-wheel slide. And if they lasted a long time, then I'd actually go skate them. Right. Because it's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Jumping fences, clipping locks, going to the ledge spot, skating, and you're like, these wheels suck. Now I have to fucking switch them out right away. So I'd do the parking lot test first before I actually go skate them.
And then you guys came up with your, what was it called again? I'm sorry.
Master urethane.
Master urethane.
Yeah. And then after about a year doing that, they had balked on some royalty payments.
Oh.
So sent them a breach of contract. That's when, right around the time that I got involved with World Industries and the A-Team. And they're like, hey, bring it here. I was like, okay, if I get out of the contract, I'll bring it there.
Wow.
So, it's funny. I sent them a breach, and literally they had my royalty check on their desk on the 31st day. And I was like, didn't give me the check. I'm out. Right?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And you wanted out. World was a better fit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I was dealing with the manufacturer, and I like all the guys over there for sure. But they're used to the manufacturing world, not the branding world.
Gotcha.
Right.
And?
No. And was the relationship we had a couple years after.
Okay.
And's amazing. Everyone at And is like legit.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how it came to World. Frank Mesman, Steve Rocco at the time, Rodney Mullen, obviously backing it.
Right.
And that's when it was like, okay, Day One got on, Rodney got on, some of the other dudes, and that's how it sort of grew, and they put the money into actually expanding the line.
Yes.
And then from there, the A-Team, everyone sort of wanted to do their own thing, right? Mark wanted to start Enjoy. Rodney went off and did his thing with Enjoy. Gershon wanted to skate for Blind.
Yeah. And
I was like, well, maybe let's just do a run of Darkstar boards and see how they do. So we did 2 graphics and 3 sizes or something. And they're like, shit, you just sold a couple thousand boards. You should probably do a brand. I was like, all right.
But then also now you're taking a wheel company with team riders, making a board brand.
Yeah,
now
which was a little
makes
weird.
It weird, right?
Yeah.
Now you're going to lose people.
For sure.
Yeah, you knew that. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, looking back,
a lot of those guys run the same building.
That was a tough thing to do, right?
Yeah,
we're like, oh no, it's Darkstar Wheels and it's Darkstar Wood. But
you
no,
can't.
It's all fucking one brand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you sort of fool yourself on what you think you could do. Right? You get caught up in the grandeur of it all, and then you're like, And over time, it fizzles out, and then eventually, the way the market went, the wheels are being made in the States in a premium urethane, and they become expensive, and then the market becomes price driven, and you just eventually we're like, let's just stick to boards, and wheels will come along at another time.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're doing Rex wheels, right?
I was, and then comes back to highest and best use of your time, and for me, working on a wheel brand isn't the highest and best use of my time.
Wow. Well, thanks for coming, man. That was a great. Wow, we covered a lot. That was.
How did you?
All right, I'm done.
How did you come up with the name Darkstar?
So at the time, a lot of people were, some of the names I was trying to come up with, I like kick myself. Just going like, what the fuck are you on?
You don't want to share them with us.
No, hell no. But my brother went through college and took a lot of those management type classes that I never took. So I'd run names by him. He's like, no, dude, you're way the fuck off.
Okay.
And we just started thinking like, all right, it's going to be a super small brand, started out of a garage, 8 foot by 8 foot space. We're trying to tap into a category that literally it's like Bones and Spitfire, the big players, right? Yeah. And we're going to be this small little brand that no one's really going to notice or see. And, a dark star is a star that's in the sky, but you can't really fucking see it.
Right.
So that was sort of it. And then, how it led into all the nights and all that stuff, I can't really put my finger on how that
But it seems to go hand, it seems to work. It goes hand in hand, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Our friend who actually did the logo, Scott Herskowitz, he really understood creating logos and that type of thing. He's like, look, you need something that's identifiable like a Spitfire logo, right? And he came up with the helmet logo.
The helmet logo, yeah.
So,
and here you are, how many years later? This has been
1997. So
Kelly, what in 97?
22 years.
22 years.
Yeah. You guys celebrate the 20th at all?
Yeah, just like
reissues.
Low pro. We didn't want to blow it up too big because we noticed what was happening as soon as someone was like 20-year anniversary. Next year they're gone.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
You guys are old.
So we're like, hey, let's just keep that on the DL.
We'll go get us some cakes and maybe some cupcakes.
So
wow. Yeah. That's amazing though. Congrats.
Like I said,
that's an accomplishment.
It's a mature brand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We want to get into Darkstar and all that, but I also want to know about Chet growing up, Huntington Beach.
Born and raised, still there. I live 5 houses down from my parents.
Seriously?
The house I grew up in.
Damn.
Same floor plan.
Same track homes.
Pretty much, yeah. So my son's room is my old room, so sometimes I'm like taking him in there.
No
like
way.
Little deja vu scenarios.
Now, did you just you're having kids. Well, you bought the house before kids, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I bought. This is my second home. The first home was over near my dad's dental practice, and then this one was like my quote unquote forever home.
Yeah,
right. So the first one was first time buyer scenario, knowing that eventually I would move up, and it was random. I was going to my dad's house one day and I saw an open house and I was like, that would be sort of rad.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Dad, do you mind if I move next door to you? He's like, nah, go for it.
I love that you asked for his blessing. He's like, no, kid, just maybe a couple more blocks away.
No,
but it's good the parents are there with the kids and the
my dad passed away 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, actually. Yeah. But my mom's still there, so it's rad for her to, she's, an extra set of arms during the evening time is a lot. It's like,
yes.
Yeah.
You and the missus can go to a movie.
I wouldn't take it that far.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So when you got into skating, what age? Because you got sponsored really early. I mean, you got sponsored when you were like 14, 15.
I started out like most kids, organized sports. Played ice hockey, believe it or not, in Orange County. South Coast Sabres. There used to be an ice rink at South Coast Plaza. Hated it. Just the practice regimen is insane, and then every weekend traveling, super far to play a game and yada, yada, yada. So when I told my parents, hey, I don't want to play hockey, they're like, no problem.
Oh, they weren't.
They weren't having it.
Right.
Well, it was my mom taking me everywhere. My dad had to work and support the family.
Sure.
And all
There wasn't like a
stuff.
team bus. It was all all the kids had to go make it.
No Mercedes. No Mercedes Sprinters and
no Mercedes.
So then I played baseball and soccer, and then living next to the beach, we'd go surfing early in the morning, and just surfing was rad, but it was waking up way too early, freezing my balls off, waiting for waves. Then when there's waves, you're fighting for waves. The whole routine was just like not feeling it.
Okay.
And then my older brother Ryan built a quarter pipe in front of the house. Came home from school one day, and I was sitting there and took a few kick turns. I'm like, all right, this is it. No more sports, no more surfing. I'm just gonna skate.
I'm just gonna kick turn all day.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I was 10 at that time. Yeah, and had like some plastic boards when we were like 8, and the street I lived on, the driveways were pretty steep, so you could like cruise down the block and like
go up the
carve the
sidewalk
driveways and that type of shit. A few little curb cuts. I remember doing my first backside 360 ollie off a curb cut in like 1987 or something.
Wow.
It's pretty sick.
I know.
I think I have it on VHS actually.
What was your first legitimate board?
A GSD, a mini GSD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tracker.
So, Gary Scott Davis.
Mm-hmm.
There was a shop in
Go skate
Huntington.
Yeah.
Not a go skate day board. There was a shop in Huntington called Gremick. I don't know if you remembered it, but before that shop, obviously, when I asked my mom for a skateboard, she'd be like, "Oh, okay, let's go to Big Five."
Yeah, of course.
Right. Didn't really have something that worked, and when I finally, re-upped and went to a legit skate shop, and then you're sort of involved in the scene. And Flower Street, they had photos of the Flower Street ditch, and like, you remember that at all? Flower Street, Santa Ana.
No.
Never got to skate it because it was always one of those bust spots
Oh,
where my
gotcha.
mom's like, "You're not going there if you're gonna get a ticket."
Right.
Shit. So she took us to Sadlands all the time.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So looking back, I'm like, that wasn't the best area to be in when you're white and 10 years old.
10 years old. Right.
Where was that?
Over by Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh.
Yeah, Beach Boulevard and like La Palma. Or something
Okay.
like that.
Not a good area.
No,
back
I
then,
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
You ever see Blender there?
No. There's always this dude, Sal, there. He was like the mayor of Sadlands.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot his last
No.
name, but.
Barbier.
No.
So you got the board, you got the GSD,
Got the board, GSD.
and then, I mean, obviously you're progressing. You got sponsored when you were 14, 15. So
Yeah, I had a friend, Edwin Kurungai, that I used to have a jump ramp outside the house, and we lived in a cul-de-sac, so it was pretty safe. But there's a hole in the wall at the end of the cul-de-sac that's like 8 feet wide, right, to where you could walk through, go across the street to the shopping center.
Okay.
And cars would drive by and like see what you're doing. This dude drove by one day, and he's like, "Hey, you skate?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I skate too. I'll take you to Pay and Play," right? Which is in Huntington, where you
Sounds sketchy though.
take-
But
That's
yeah, but I mean, not really.
okay.
Like at Templeton and Don
yeah,
Brown, everyone used to skate
and
there.
Jason Lee,
Yeah.
and the original Huntington Beach crew is
Yeah.
what I would call them.
Okay.
Right? Right outside of Huntington High School, it's those basketball courts that are right there. So
yeah.
the lights would come on at night, and no one really skated the high school that much at that time. It was all jump ramps and ho-ho circles.
Yeah.
Okay. Circles. Right.
And through skating with Edwin, he's like, "Hey, there's a contest in Cypress. You should probably go skate it." I'm like, "All right, cool." Skated
Wait, who was
it.
the dude that picked you up?
Yeah, Edwin, because I started, going to Pay and Play, and,
Okay.
and like my mom trusted him. I could, he drove at the time, and
Sure.
I was only like 12 or 13 or
Okay.
something, right?
Yeah.
And then did my first contest, won my division. I was like, again, 13 or something, and it happened to be that Steve Size was one of the judges of the contest, and same with Marty Jimenez, Jinx.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that was probably one of my most memorable boards too, is winning a bright yellow Jinx board.
That was what you won.
Yeah, that was my prize for winning.
No
Get
way.
the mini?
No minis yet. It was just normal sized Jinx board.
Okay.
And then it was like a couple months later, me and Edwin went skating in Lakewood, and there's a shop, El Dorado Surf and Sport, that Marco Size worked at, and Steve Size, that was like their local shop, and we just happened to walk in to get grip tape or bolts or something, and Steve's like, hey, aren't you that kid that like won that contest a couple months ago? I was like, yeah. He's like, I've been trying to get a hold of you, and I want to start flowing you boards. I was like, fuck yeah.
No way.
Wow.
And that's back when like I was hyped on 2 boards a month and a set of wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you made that shit last.
For sure.
You know? And it was never like directly from Powell, right?
It's like
It's
He's
bro
like,
flow.
you're like bro flow.
Right.
Like Todd Hastings is going to put an extra 2 boards in Steve's package. They're never being sent directly to your house.
Right.
I got to go to Steve's to pick them up.
So
right?
you knew
Yeah.
the drill.
I knew the drill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that went on for probably about a year or so,
Okay.
just like Powell flow. Then I went to San Luis Obispo skate camp. This is way before Woodward.
Yeah.
And then met Mike Ternansky and Magnuson, and that's the first time I met Steve Douglas.
Okay.
Chris Robinson, old vert skater that skated for Vision. So I was, I left skate camp, and it's like I was either going to skate for Magnuson, Vision, or like figure out what was going on with Powell. And it happened to be that weekend that I got back, Steve's like, hey, there's a Val Surf demo happening in the Valley. The whole team's going to be there. Stacy, Todd, Lance, everyone wants to see you skate. Like,
It's like
could be your chance to get on the team.
Like
I was
a tryout.
I was like, all right, pretty much a tryout.
Yeah.
Well, what it ended up being a tryout, which is crazy. Like, and here I am, I'm young. I think I'm gonna show up at this demo and like skate the demo with the crew, right? And I get there like, no, you can't skate. It's only Bones Brigade skating. I'm like, oh, all right. So, ho-ho circles still in play. So I just went off to the side and
Did your own demo?
had a ho-ho battle with Guy Mariano.
Yeah,
What?
right.
Yeah.
A ho-ho battle.
Yeah.
Who
You don't-
won?
you don't-
Was Guy on Powell then?
No, because him,
Yeah.
Paulo, and Gabriel, they were just
Bandis,
getting into
yeah.
the mix too, right? I won the battle.
You won the battle.
Yeah, yo-yo to ho-ho. So I used to be able to do yo-yo ho-hos. But
Yo-yo ho-ho. What is
yeah.
that?
You don't know Yo-Yo Schultz? Okay, so roll backwards,
Pop into it.
up into hand plant on the street without your feet touching, just like.
Oh, you roll into
You
it. Oh,
roll
yeah, I do
into
that
it.
all the time.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah.
So after the demo, they took me to a parking lot, set up a jump ramp and a little, the old school
The slider bar?
slider bar PVC coping 2x4s nailed in, super janky,
Yeah.
Sure.
And they're just like, okay, fucking go for it.
Let's see what you got.
I'm
What do you
like,
mean? They didn't skate with you? Or
No, they're just like, all right, let's
This
see
was
what
your
you
tryout.
got. It was my
Wow.
tryout.
You won the ho-ho battle
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
yo-yo ho-ho.
Yo-yo
and then
ho-ho. And
now
then
it's off to the
now,
next.
Now it's off to an empty parking lot with a jump ramp and a
Were
rail.
you
rail set.
nervous? I mean, these are these.
No, I was amped.
Really?
Because here I was thinking I was going to go skate this demo, and they're like, nope, you can't skate. And when, remember the energy you had when you were a little fucking rat. And
Sure.
all you want to do is skate,
Yeah.
skate, right? So I was like, and I remember basically everyone used to early grab off of jump ramps, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was just doing ollies, regular ollies, and not grabbing, and fakie to forward 540s.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
And like melon grabs and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was Stacy, Todd Hastings, Adrian Demain, Jim Thiebaud, Lance Mountain, Cab. Tony wasn't there, I don't think. Steve Size. And they're like, yeah, okay, you could be on the team.
Just like that.
Well, after that, yeah.
But you
What the-
knew all these guys.
No.
Right? No, not knew them, but
No.
knew of them.
Of course I
Right.
knew of them.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
grew up, watching. There was no skate videos back in the day. It was like Future Primitive.
Sure.
Right? And the
Yeah.
original Bones Brigade video.
Okay.
And then obviously Search for Animal Chin. Right?
Right.
And that was pretty much it. There was that one Vision video. I can't really remember the name of it, but all I remember is like a dude jumping the wall and dude throwing a board over the wall and getting hit in the head or some shit. The things you remember, it's weird.
What were your friends thinking at this point? I mean, you obviously had a crew you were skating with, and here you are now
but
sponsored by
it
Powell.
was like older dudes. Like I said,
was it?
Edwin was a little older. I had some friends in elementary school that skated a bit, but they were into other things, more
Okay.
organized sports and stuff like that. And I had a few neighbors, like Brian Alper, who was my age, that we were able to build a ramp in his backyard and stuff like that. But I mean, I was pretty much hanging out with Edwin and Steve Size, and that was like my skate crew.
So the kids you were around weren't as full throttle as you were with skating.
Not
Okay.
at all.
Gotcha.
I mean, it wasn't as like accepted back then as it is now. It was like it's typical like skate and destroy, right?
When you saw Guy back then, did you know that he was like as good as he was, or did you know anything about him yet?
because we were both still like tiny, right?
And he didn't go skate the other tryout with you at all? Either?
No, but a few. I think it
He
was
lost
like
a ho-ho
I think it
battle.
was like the ho-ho battle that no one saw. No, but I remember a couple months later, we went and skated a vert ramp in the valley, and he was there and Stacy was there, and like that's when I think they were like getting him on the team. I was like, holy shit, that kid could skate train, right? Like, guy's insane.
Yeah.
He's
for
like
sure.
one of my favorites.
How'd you learn how to skate vert? Because you killed it on vert back in the day.
Steve Size, he had it was 16 feet wide and 10.5 foot tall vert ramp in his backyard. Like that. You could go straight up, straight down.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. And started skating that, and then once I, started being flowed by Powell and skating with him more, we went to Lance's. And then after that, there was the Transitions skate park in LA. That's the size vert ramp I like. It was like 10 foot and 6 inches of vert.
Okay,
The ones these days. I went to the monster ramp, I think 3 years ago now, to meet PLG, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna skate it. Brought some pads, set up a vert board. I got to the top, I'm like, nah,
No, this isn't
fucking good. This isn't what I remember vert to be.
Yeah, it's so gnarly.
Too
now.
old for that shit.
You were on Powell. They put you on. I mean, you were in the video.
Yeah.
You were in the
So that's when I got on, and then like they pretty much immediately started
public domain.
filming for public domain.
Right.
And looking at that Powell manual, that manual's from 1989.
Please bring that thing out.
You want to see the manual?
We've had guests on the show that have talked about this manual. This is a Powell Peralta original
The manual.
manual that they gave you.
Yeah.
Can I please see it?
1989.
This is the handbook.
The handbook. Yeah.
This is the handbook.
You
How to
get to
conduct
read some of
yourself.
it. My eyes are fucked.
Well,
I'd have to put on glasses to read. So
All good,
you
bro.
read whatever you want to
I will
read.
read some. Go ahead, Kelly.
What were you like? What was it for?
They brought everyone to the factory in Santa Barbara. It was like, I think it was during Christmas or something. Everyone got their team jackets with the patches and took the team photo. And it was before the whole skate park was totally built. It was just like their new warehouse in Goleta. Some jump ramps. I don't know if you remember their like portable demo gear. It was like all gray with
Big holes on the side of the quarter pipes.
holes
Yeah.
and like urethane edges as
So
far
you can
as
slide
on the
'em easy.
boxes.
Yep.
You could slide them easy and stuff like that. So they just set that stuff up in there, and just got everyone together and handed us these manuals.
This was the only manual you got, or was there other?
No, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
General orders. Here we go. All brigade members will maintain the highest level of skateboarding ability. All brigade members will acknowledge their participation in an elite group of skateboarders forever known as the Bones Brigade. All brigade members will constantly strive to become the best skater, the best person, the best of the best. All brigade skaters will faithfully serve their country, their mom, their dad, their company, their sport, and their ability. All brigade skaters will come to realize that skating is an integral part of their life, and that scumbags who don't skate sometimes have to be forgotten for their particular lack of insight. All brigade skaters will understand that their field manual is an important part of their lives, and that is, what the fuck? Who wrote this? Let me try that again. All brigade skaters will understand that their field manual is an important part of their lives, and that's a very big if captured behind enemy lines, this manual must be chewed and swallowed to avoid confiscation.
It's pretty
All
insane.
brigade skaters will maintain their official brigade uniforms at all times. Their barracks will always pass inspection, and their manner and attitude will always be that of true Bones Brigade member. What are you thinking when you get this? Were you reading it as a 15-year-old kid, like going through this thing? And that's just one page. There's like a
that's
whole...
that's the first
I imagine
page.
being a 15-year-old in 1989 and be like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time it was just like, oh, rad, I have a manual. I'm on Powell, like, amazing. So you don't really like think twice about it, right?
Right.
And looking back at it now and reading through some of it, I'm like, you know what? It's actually a really smart thing for them to do. Like having to deal with as many skaters as I've had to deal with the brands and all that over the years and how
many fuck ups you had to deal with?
I mean, yeah, I've been fortunate. Most of the dudes I've worked with have been on point. There's been a few that is just like don't really get it, right?
Yeah.
And this sort of just like sets the tone when you don't know how things are supposed to work.
Where's
right?
the Darkstar manual?
Not.
But it does kind of break down different things like photo op, photograph opportunities, like clothing, don't wear white. Better contrast is achieved with red, blue, fuchsia, Powell Peralta shirts. Wear pants that contrast with the shirt. Dark. I mean, they're like laying out like, hey, if you go take photos, this is what you should wear. Though. Equipment, stickers on your deck should be placed to emphasize the deck graphic that you're using.
Yep.
Plastics should be in place. Remember, skaters study the photographs in the magazines. They look to the photos for their decisions on what products to buy and what equipment to use. You influence their lives.
Yeah, which is the whole reason why they sponsor people, right?
Yeah.
To influence, other kids to be hyped on the brands that you're skating for and eventually, go buy that product.
Seriously.
I mean,
right.
You could talk shit on it all you want. Not saying you're talking shit on it,
of course.
There's always like naysayers and cynics about stuff like this. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's like, they put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah,
and it's
I'm going to read Lance Mountain's address and phone number right now. So everybody's listed in here. It's crazy.
Ray Barbie, Steve Size,
it's amazing,
Guy Mariano.
This is something, right, Raj? That's like a piece of his. Raj is like.
I've seen this once before.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's the first time I've ever seen it.
Raj used to work at Dwindle. I think I should
have that for. It's incredible. We've always heard about it. At least I have. Never
Operation
seen
Motherhood.
Motherhood.
Powell's going good.
Yep.
Public domain. Then you film Propaganda.
Was
a couple years later.
Was it Ban This, then Propaganda, or Propaganda, then Ban This?
It was Ban This, then Propaganda.
Then Propaganda, then Video 8.
And Axe Rated was somewhere in there too.
Huh?
What was it?
Axe Rated.
Axe Rated?
It was like after.
That was like a promo. Wasn't that more of a promo video?
Promo, yeah.
You were working, man. You were working.
But it was all just like, couple day shoots.
The barracks to the Holiday Inn.
The barracks, the Holiday Inn.
So it was an amazing experience, I mean, being able to, be around Stacy and that whole crew, and you don't really realize what you learn just by being around it, right? Mm-hmm. Until it's like time to do something on your own and you sort of know what to do and you're like, holy shit, I learned quite a bit just by soaking it in like osmosis, right?
So if you're wearing a black shirt,
I know, didn't you know fuchsia goes best on the 9 Club?
I was thinking about it. I was like, man, everyone's wearing black on 9 Club. Shit, do I have blue? I was like, fuck it, I'm wearing black.
But what happened with Powell, though? Because literally, what did you skate for them for like 4 years or something?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Cruz.
Actually, no, I went to Public, which was through New School, John Fallahy, Eddie Raddigy.
Oh.
And it was sort of during that transition time in skateboarding where it was all going towards
street,
pressure flips and more technical skating, real small wheels, big pants, right? And it was like Brandon Chapman was like one of the new dudes coming up, and a few other guys, to where their focus was sort of like shifting to that quote unquote new generation. And at that time I was like, I've been at Powell for so long, right?
A couple of years.
There's a San Francisco contest that was happening and I was supposed to be turning pro, and it was like a year away and then 6 months away, and I'm like, hey, when's the contest? When am I gonna turn pro? Like, shouldn't I? And then it was like a month away. I'm like, hey, shouldn't I have my like airfare by now? And I was like, hey, Stacy, can I come talk to you? He's like, yeah, come on up to Hollywood and come have a chat with me. And went to his office. It was like off of Vermont and something. It's like where he did all the editing.
Okay.
Like, it used to be like Betamax editing.
The
dials.
How old were you at this point?
Shit, 16, okay. 17.
Sure.
And he's like, you know what? I think we're pretty much thinking the same thing here. And like, I went to, thinking like, okay, he's going to tell me I'm going to San Francisco and I'm going to turn pro and all this. He's like, it's probably a good idea that you had a professional fresh start with a new brand. So you've been with us for so long.
He invited you to leave.
He invited me to leave in a nice way. He
Sure.
No hard feelings at all. But it was sort of one of those things like, just caught off guard, right? Like, huh? What? That's not why I came to talk
Like
to
you
you.
just drove up there.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
what he said sort of made sense at the time, right? It's like, hey, sometimes it makes a bigger impact if you turn pro for a new brand and you have a little more attention than if you just turned pro for a brand you've been on for 5 years.
Huh.
Right?
Interesting. Okay.
So I was like, okay. Well, I guess I'll find another brand to turn pro
Because
on.
nothing was on your radar, right?
No,
I mean,
no.
you were happy.
Nah, yeah. And it just so happened that Eddie Radigan used to live right around the corner from Steve Size. He was starting his thing,
Okay.
Public, right?
Right.
Public was owned by New School and John Fallahy. They had their own wood shop in Riverside. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to skate for Radigan, which was a good thing. Eddie's a super cool dude.
Okay.
He was one of the reasons why I got my first Thrasher cover for sure.
Oh.
Because he was in with all those dudes up north,
Sick.
Fausto and the Indy crew. I started skating for Indy, got on Vans, it was all because of his hookups, right? So
it was a good move.
yeah,
was a good move.
temporary good move.
Temporary.
yeah. I remember getting my first check and I was like, yes. And then I got my second check and I was like, no.
What happened in that time?
Yeah, why?
Why did it drop?
It's a new brand. You don't get a guaranteed salary. It's like
Sure.
you got board royalties. And back then, you don't know how it all works. You don't know you're supposed to get a minimum guarantee, that type of shit.
So
it's
you
all-
got
You
kind of
want
the
reorder?
homie deal.
yeah,
And
and,
so-
the first check, it's like the first batch of boards sell, and it's good, and
Right.
then you don't understand what sell-through is.
Yeah.
Right? You could sell
Yeah.
anything once, but to sell shit over and over and over,
It's tough.
yeah.
And that was your first check? You didn't get paid by Powell at all?
No.
No.
That's
Okay.
like amateur meant amateur.
Okay. I didn't see it in the handbook.
Amateur
I
means
should have read the
no
handbook a little
pay
bit, yeah.
whatsoever.
Okay.
And that was back when, California Amateur Skateboard League.
Oh, okay.
Right? And if
Yeah,
they
yeah.
find out you got paid, you no longer could skate in.
Yeah, you're pro now.
Yeah, you're pro now.
The castle, yeah.
Yeah.
So you turned pro for Public right away when it started?
Yeah, at that San Francisco fountain contest. It's like the last one they had there, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
like Chris Markovich's 101 heyday. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were like 16, 17 at this
Yeah,
point.
I think almost 18 by the
Okay.
time that rolled around.
Huh. And then what happened with Public?
Just figured out that it wasn't gonna be the right thing for me.
Gotcha.
Right. And then from there, went to Santa Cruz.
Yep.
Right, because they had a whole fallout of all their dudes that left and went to Consolidated.
Right.
I was like, ooh, opportunity! I could get on a legit brand that needs some dudes. Right.
Oh, you saw that straight away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I called Gavin and he's like, yeah, I was wondering how you stayed on Public for so long. I was like, hook me up. Right. And that was my first legit, I think, monthly salary check.
Okay.
Right. It was
Wow.
consistent every month.
Mhm. And
Didn't get paid board royalties, but it was like, at that point I was like, royalties, whatever, I don't care. I just,
Sure.
I want to be able to skate and not worry about working.
Yeah, steady
right?
little paycheck. Yeah.
Yeah, so that on top of, doing TV commercials and shit like that, I didn't have to have a full-time job.
Well, let's
you know?
talk about these commercials. but even younger, though, you were doing these commercials when
Yeah,
you were
and that goes
in
back
Powell
to
days.
Powell days. 'cause
Right.
Stacy had those contacts in Hollywood, right? So they'd get casting calls that would call Stacy,
Oh.
and they'd be like, hey, we're looking for a 12-year-old kid that has freckles and buck teeth. And I'm like, hey.
got it right here. But you had speaking roles in some of these commercials, right?
McDonald's
Yeah,
one, yeah.
McDonald's
Yeah.
and Cheerios and then everything else. And
Jeez.
the thing is, speaking or not, it doesn't matter. If the camera's focused on you, you're a principal.
Yes.
Right? If it's not focused on you, you're an extra.
Plus, you're skating in them too,
And
bro.
you're skating, but you don't get any more money for skating. You
Oh,
get this-
really?
No.
Okay.
Not doing stunt work.
Well, I did stunt work for Clueless. I still get a $29 check every 3 months.
For the movie Clueless?
Yeah.
It's
Oh
amazing.
my god!
What?
I don't even remember. I don't.
I
it's
was
not one of my
Travis,
favorite
the dude
movies.
with the long hair.
Oh, really?
Wig, all that stuff. Yeah, so-
Okay, so the
I'll watch that
McDonald's,
again.
the McDonald's commercial
Yeah.
and the Cheerios. That was how much how much you getting paid for those? I mean, it's a long time ago.
you get like 600 a day,
Yeah.
and then since it's if it's a national spot, it plays all over.
All over.
right? So your checks start at like $800, and then it's $1,200, and then it's $4,000, and then it's $5,000, and then it's $2,000. It was a good amount of money for each commercial, enough to where I could you
save a little bit.
My dad saved a little bit, and he leased me a car.
Perfect. But that's great. I mean, you're literally sustaining your own lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's exactly what I wanted. Right? I
old.
wanted to skate. I wanted to turn pro, and at that time, making money as a pro was not enough to pay the bills. And I had a great relationship with my dad. He's like, hey, stay at home as long as you want. Do your thing. We don't care if you're out till 2 a.m. Just stay out of fucking trouble, and you're good. And keep a backup plan. I stayed in school. I went to college as long as I thought it was worth it for me.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was good.
The checks then start dwindling down.
Yeah, they ramp up, and then they dwindle down, and then they stop playing the commercial, and then it's like on to the next one. Right. So I think in a period of 5 years, I did like 20 commercials or something.
Wow.
Yeah, and not every commercial you got paid that much, because some of them don't make it to the national spot, because they do. Those brands are pretty smart with what they're doing. They're like, okay, test it in California. Okay, great response. Go to Colorado, Nevada, and then if it's like on a good one, they're like national.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, cha-ching.
Yeah, that's when you're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, what else did I do? 7-Up.
Baywatch?
7-Up.
Hot Wheels, Twister popsicles.
No way. So you were making like a side living almost.
Yeah,
You were like really.
Yeah.
You're bringing in some money, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it never made it to my bank account.
No, got a car out of it.
I did get a car.
Yeah.
I mean, and looking back, I was like, shit, that motherfucker was leased. 5 years.
5-year lease.
Yeah,
Wow.
5-year lease. Yeah.
So, Santa Cruz, right?
Yep.
Pro on Santa Cruz, steady check going.
Steady check going. From there, my check was X amount a month, and then the very next month it was like X amount, and I was like, hey, what the fuck? They're like, hey, read the fine print in your contract.
Oh, no.
I was like, what? Fine print is they could change the payment at any time, no notice necessary, all that shit. So that's when I started going, okay, there's another side to it where it's like you got to pay attention to that stuff.
You started realizing.
And I called them. I was like, hey, man, how did it go from X to X? And they're like, well, sales aren't what they were, and we need to make cutbacks and all this, which I understood. But at that time, I'm like, all right. Well, I had a relationship with Marty Jimenez, and I'm like, I love what Channel 1's doing. I'm going to write for Channel 1.
Right. Okay.
So they're going to pay me exactly what you're going to pay me anyway. And I'm involved in a brand that's in my neighborhood that I could actually like hang out at. They have a mini ramp in the warehouse.
And that makes a big deal. That's a big deal too.
Yeah.
Having that right in your backyard as well.
Yeah.
And skating with all the dudes on a regular basis.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why I got on was because Chris Sen was riding for him. I fucking love that dude.
Grass Valley.
And it was funny because
Surprised you knew that.
Come on, bro.
the third month I was on, he ended up quitting. I was like, no.
Oh no.
But that shit happens.
Yeah.
And then that's like right when Volcom started, right? So I was the first pro skater for Volcom.
Wow.
Because I used to ride for Quicksilver before that, and a lot of the dudes from Quicksilver started Volcom. Richard Wolcott was like right below Danny Kwok in marketing, and they basically told him like, hey, we love you. You could stay at Quicksilver as long as you want, but you've hit a glass ceiling. You're never going to take Danny Kwok's job. So if you're cool with that at 27, stick around. If you want to do your thing, do your thing. And that's when he started Volcom.
He went and did his
Oh, no
thing.
way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
No
then
way.
a good friend of ours, Troy Eckert, was a surfer for him. He was one of my older brother's best friends. He went over. That's how sort of I met Richard and Tucker Hall, and then just went along for the ride.
First pro in Volcom.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then
It was
what
a good
happened
run.
with Channel 1? Because you eventually rode for Platinum, right? Is that
So after
shortly after?
Shortly
no?
after, yeah. I mean, I recycled all my Channel 1 footage for XYZ Platinum. That's how close it was.
But why so quickly? You got on. Here's Santa Cruz, and then now Platinum, and then now you're going to
I was on Channel 1 for
Channel 1.
a couple years, and when I got on, I did it for the amount of money that he was willing to pay me, based on like, look, hey, I'll do it for this, but if I work my ass off and do the things I'm supposed to do, I want a review in a year, and I want to get a raise as long as I've done X, 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 and X, right? So a year later, I went in, and Jim Gray, he ran the finances of Channel One, and I like that dude a lot.
Yeah.
And he taught me a major lesson, right? Is I went in for this review. He's like, okay, you got on in April of whatever it was, 1995, and now it's April of 1996. My years could be fucked up. I'm just
you're pretty close. I think, yeah.
Let's see, our monthly sales last year were X amount of boards per month.
Okay.
And you've been on for a year, and now our monthly sales are X amount of boards per month. It's about level, so you haven't affected sales, so no, you don't get a raise. And I was like, fuck, I wasn't ready for that one, right? But in hindsight, I could have been like, oh yeah, well, the first month I was on, Chris Sen left, so what would have happened if I didn't come on? I sustained the sales, right? But I wasn't prepared for it. Right. So the lesson is, when you go into a business meeting, like, be prepared for your shit, and like, try to, be ready for what's coming down the pipe. So.
And I like your style, man, because I think skaters in some instances get taken advantage of
every day.
So it's nice to actually hear that, like, you were really sticking up for what you thought was right.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
amazing.
my dad was a smart businessman, and sort of again that osmosis thing. You sort of listen to conversations that happen, and you don't really realize what you're learning until like the time comes. But it's all experience, and looking back, there's lots of things I could have done different, but hindsight's always 20/20, right?
100%.
So from there, I forgot how I actually ended up. It was the Globe connection that ended up linking up with Danny Way and XYZ.
XYZ, right?
For the tattoo still.
Oh, you got the tattoo? Look at that.
Wow.
Huh? Hey, that was a great XYZ Platinum.
Yeah. It was good, but it was funny too how we came up with the name Platinum. We're at like Danny's table in Carlsbad, and it's when he lived with Ken Block, and they're like, what should we call it? What should we call it? And Danny's like, we always go to the strip club called Platinum.
No way.
XYZ Platinum. Okay, there you go.
Named
XYZ
after
Platinum.
a strip club.
Wow.
At least that's what I remember.
Right.
Wow.
Damn. When you were going in for these meetings and everything, did you ever get the feeling that they were like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, why are you like challenging us almost?
No.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, the one with Jim where it's like he broke out the sales numbers, it really made me scratch my head and be like, fuck, like, I don't want to go through that again.
Okay.
Right.
Like, he got you. Not he got you, but he schooled you on like what.
Yeah, just,
Okay.
because obviously you're running a business, you want the least amount of expense to go out the window. And, when someone's trying to pull some of that expense into their pocket, you're going to try to justify what you can.
Sure.
Right? And he made a great case, and I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But then when the time came to go to XYZ, I was just like, all right, I'm going to get paid more. I'm in like a crew of people that, fuck Danny Way.
Great crew of people.
Right? Like, he's one of my favorites of all time. Just gnarly dude.
Huh.
Henry Sanchez.
Man.
Justin Bokma, R.I.P.
Yes. Yes.
It was pretty rad. Lance Conklin, team manager. The shit that he would cause
Did he give you the
at
tattoo?
World. Yeah, he got one. We all got
No,
one.
but did he give you the tattoo?
Oh, no. Art and Steve Godoy.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I forgot which one because they're twins.
One of them.
Yeah, one of them. The Godoy brothers, I'll just put it that way.
Wow.
There's like 8 of us who got the tattoo.
Okay.
And I conveniently got it in a spot where my watch would cover it. So, like,
You always think ahead, man.
I wanted to live at home. I didn't want my dad fucking pissed. And if he saw it, he wouldn't be too stoked. So I think it was like, I had it for like 7 years before he ever saw it.
Really?
You hid that thing for 7 years.
Yeah. It's when I used to wear watches. iPhones weren't out.
Sure.
iPhone's my watch now, right? So
You were a watch wearer, huh? I remember in the
it was,
footage and stuff.
yeah.
Huh. What kind of watch? G-Shock?
I think it was one of the Casio calculator watches.
The calculator.
Yeah, XYZ,
Yeah.
and then from there to A-Team, which
How
was
did
pretty
this
rad.
whole thing come about, you know?
XYZ and Platinum was distributed through World,
Yeah.
right? And I think there was just some things happening that Danny and Tommy Cadell weren't too stoked on. Obviously, when you're in a bigger distribution and there's multiple brands, there's always a battle of what brand is getting the attention and who gets the inventory position and who's focused on, sales going out the door and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And World was World at the time. Flamboy, Wet Willie, I mean, fucking going off.
Sure.
Right? Blind, the Reaper was just coming around.
Okay.
And they're sort of battling against that and didn't think they were getting the attention that they were wanted to get. So they split off and did their own thing down south. And I don't know, Rodney had hit Gershon up. I was friends with Gershon, and Gershon's like, well, hey, I'm going to do it, but Chet needs to come too. And it was sort of funny because I remember like them being like, yeah, I don't know if Chet's like the right fit for A-Team, but Gershon, we want you. So if Chet has to come, then okay, we'll
So you got on by a
Wow.
Really? How did you feel about that? Did you know that at the time,
I
or
didn't fucking care.
you didn't care?
I mean, I was like, I'm gonna be on A-Team with Rodney Mullen and Mark Johnson and Gershon
Seriously?
Mosley, and fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah, it's a rad
You
team.
power team.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't always like the gnarliest dude. I think that my work ethic and just trying to do my best all the time is what
Yeah,
Her
yeah.
trick selection was
Yeah.
very.
one
Yeah.
trick.
No, but you did variations. Doing like switch 540s on fucking.
Yeah, those are yeah.
Nollie flip back tails.
Hard
Yeah.
foot back nose
Hard-
grinds.
seriously.
Yeah.
You started one line off with a pop shove it though. It's kind of weird. I don't know, so I wondered about that.
Or
Makes
line
sense.
up a kickflip
That
in
was
it.
that was the one like, the nollie foot back tail. You're
Yeah.
talking about.
Probably, yeah.
At Rancho down south.
Yeah, Rancho. That was
Yeah.
a good spot. I love that place. Yeah.
So-
The rainy day spot.
The A-Team. I mean, you must have been ecstatic.
Yeah, I was hyped. I mean, it's the first time, like, I don't know, being on a major brand. I mean, the first ad campaign, it was how many pages? 8 pages
Seriously?
or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money.
Yeah, and it was nonstop. And what's funny is there was another writer that was supposed to be in that whole initial campaign.
I know, but I wasn't really ready yet. Sorry, Jack. Oh
Oh,
no,
his name was
somebody-
Kane Gale.
Kane Gale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we all took photos in the black shirts. They superimposed the A-Team logo on there, right? And then at the last minute, he's like, Danny, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to stay. And so he stayed.
No way.
And then Mayhew came in after.
Mayhew.
Yeah.
So you guys had taken the photos and everything.
Yeah. He was part of that first photo session all up at World.
What did they do? Take them out of the photos or reshoot them or?
Well, what they did is they took everyone's
Individually.
photo individually, and then that
Placed them
first
together.
spread, photoshopped everything together, and then
Okay.
each dude had their own spread. It was like, I don't know, 8 pages or
Sure,
something.
yeah.
And then after that, the E-Team came along.
What's that?
Expedition.
Oh, the But A-Team I felt like was going great, and then I think a lot of people were saying just the art direction wasn't really good.
Yeah, I mean,
and it
at the
just
time,
was-
John Thomas, JT, do you remember JT Ayers? Like Tuckney, wow,
Yep.
like torque Tuckneys.
Alba.
He was manning the ship at first,
Okay.
and then I think it was on his transition to do other things. He moved to Hawaii, and then it was just one of those things that fizzled, right? And Mark was a key player, right, and knew what he wanted.
on
and knew that-
paper, that company should have lasted
yeah, I
15,
know.
20 years.
But things come, things
Yeah,
go.
sure.
With skateboarding,
Yeah.
the middle finger of skateboarding is pretty fickle, right?
It was a commercial.
You can't have a
though.
brand that's like too serious though.
Yeah, and it
At
was
the time, though, I thought it was great. Though
Yeah.
you had the surveillance commercial, the
Yeah.
who's watching you, yeah,
Someone's watching you.
yeah.
Ronnie versus Day One too.
Right.
But that was Mark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he came up with that stuff.
genius.
right? And it was a little, I think, too serious for him, and that's why
He wanted to lighten
the
the
whole
mood.
Enjoy thing worked perfect for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Mark's not a really serious guy. He's
And that's where Gershon with the blind, I did the Darkstar thing. Mark and Ronnie did Enjoy. Right?
Yeah.
And Matt Eversole at the time was Mark's filmer. And then eventually Matt became the brand dude when Mark decided to leave.
So when it dismantled, you had already started Darkstar Wheels at this point?
Yeah.
So
Darkstar was already, the wheel company was already
it was
at
already going.
World.
And then when now you have no board sponsor, and does Rodney come up and say, "Hey, what do you want to do?"
Steve Rocco and Frank Mesman were like, hey, the art direction with Darkstar, we think there's a real niche for it and the potential to actually do well as a board brand. Let's test a few boards. I was like, hey, all good. So again, they did like 2 logo boards or something, and they did really well. And he's like, okay, we sold a decent amount of boards, just barely trying. Let's actually like get a few riders and try to do the wood versus wheels thing.
Wood versus right, yeah. Wow, it's incredible, dude. Here you are, 22 years later.
How did you end up picking a team for that?
That's a good question.
I mean, like Kenrich was on there.
Kenrich,
Galea, like they had some. You actually at that point, it kind of a lot of Canadians got on at that point. I felt like, and I was like Mike Hasty and Galea and
Mac now, one of my favorites of all time.
Dude's
Paul
so
Mac
gnarly.
now, dude's
Gnarly.
fucking amazing dude. Galea, because he skated for World and was sort of like flow on, not really on. And this was when World, I think, was just doing the exit from Nash Street into the building in Huntington, little separation of the business.
Yeah.
Rodney Johnson was the team manager at the time.
Yep.
And I had a talk with him, like, hey, are you going to put Galea on or are you not? He's like, no, I don't think we could do it. And I was like, all right, Galea. And, I met Galea through a friend, Dan Opek.
Okay.
He was one of my first Darkstar distributors in Canada and became one of my good friends over the past, 22 years now. And then through Galea, it was like Mike Hasty, and then Mac now was writing for World, and then Mac now came aboard. Snyder was a fucking rad one.
Schneider man.
Yep.
Snyder man.
Yeah, another rad dude.
Seriously.
And
That's a great team to launch with.
And Kenrich, because he skated for the wheel company, and it was sort of like a natural thing. And again, skated for World, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
had a little like World thing going on, I guess.
Right.
Just plucking them.
And how about yourself? I mean, you're obviously still skating at the professional level, and then like now you're like, okay, well, I went from this wheel company in my garage to Dwindle to now a board company.
Yeah.
Another brand manager.
And how am I going to do this?
I was able to do it because of my brother.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the creative director from the start. He helped me start the brand even out of the garage.
Okay.
And, there was a good amount of time where he was the one handling all the day-to-day stuff at Dwindle. He had an office at Nash Street, right? Like he was doing like picking up a lot of the slack where I'd help with the team and like some ideas and graphic ideas and, board shapes and stuff like that. But from the business side of it, we had a good infrastructure with World and Frank Mesman and what they did,
Gotcha,
right? So we didn't have to worry about that and like paying bills and cutting checks and accounting and all that.
Taken care of,
right? But there's still a lot of day-to-day that goes in from just the brand side.
Yeah.
And he picked up all that slack until I was pretty much like done skateboarding.
Okay.
And then through that, like started at Dwindle once a week and then 3 times a week and then 4
You
times
slowly get sucked
got
in.
sucked the fuck
Yeah. It's rad though. I mean, luckily your brother was there to pick up the slack, dude.
Yeah. And he still does. I mean, he handles all the social media stuff.
Yeah.
I chip in when I can, but
Okay.
he's much more talented when it comes to that stuff than I am.
Right.
And just his eye for what's rad and what's not.
Yeah,
like
sure.
I don't have that.
Okay.
That I could fuck around with board shapes and molds and I know it works and all that
Right.
stuff, but from an art perspective,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it looks cool. I don't know why, but it looks cool. And he's in that arena, right? I mean, he does his own art stuff on the side, and
because you need, I mean, to have a partner. He's a partner, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like you said today, you were at the beach all day enjoying yourself with a
what?
pina colada. It's like it's great.
Dude, I was up at 4, not at the beach.
Could you imagine? You get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I don't have a choice.
with the kids and then
Well,
work. Or is it just quiet time at 4 a.m.?
No, it's work time.
Yeah.
It's like, with the real estate business that I'm doing on top of all my responsibilities with the brand, and
Sure.
not only Darkstar, but the merchandising stuff at Dwindle for all the brands.
Okay.
I have to be at the office at a certain time. There's only so many hours in the day. I have to be home by a certain time because my wife is a hustler. She owns a PR firm.
Oh, wow.
And like, honestly, is an amazing woman. Has made me feel lazy for a long time.
Okay.
It's challenging as far as getting those hours. So it's like from 4 a.m. to 6, I'll focus on a lot of real estate stuff.
Gotcha.
Real estate marketing, contracts, looking over offers, that type of thing.
Interesting.
Shooting off some emails, and then get on the road by 6:30, get to Dwindle by 7:30 or 8, because sometimes even when I leave at 6:30, I don't get there till
It's
8,
traffic.
just
Yeah,
4:05. There's no way around it, right?
Yeah.
And then do what I got to do there, work through lunch, get out of there at like 2:30 or 3 to get home by 4 when our nanny leaves. And then from like 4 to 8:30, it's me and my wife tag teaming the kids until they're in bed, and then it's like 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, working another 2 hours on whatever I missed during that little window, and then it's
When do
right
you
back
watch
to it.
TV?
Like I told you, dude, the extent of my TV is Frozen,
Right, yeah.
Greatest
All the
Show,
kids'
man, all the
movies.
kids stuff, dude.
You got a favorite?
No, not really. I mean, it's all just like garbage.
But you said that you worked not only the Darkstar stuff, but you have other duties at Dwindle. What exactly
Yeah,
do you...
merchandising and line plan development.
So what does that do? What does that consist of?
You're looking at every brand's SKUs that they're selling. We have 6 seasons a year.
Okay.
You have to manage the deadlines of when the art's due, when the spec sheets have to be turned in, when you get the samples from the factory, when you have to shoot stuff for catalog, when the catalog goes to print, when the catalog goes out to the sales reps for the pre-selling window, when you have to run the numbers for the bulk buys, when it gets X-factoried from the factory, when it actually delivers. It's all like calendar management, right? And me, I get the easy part, like looking at 180 SKUs a season or whatever it is, and determining what gets canceled. I work with Bod.
Oh, okay.
Right, because he has his head really wrapped around the numbers, and we go through it every season, and we determine what gets canceled, what carries over in the next season, how many new items, and then I take those plans and I pass them to each brand manager as far as like, hey, here's the amount of items that you need to create, and by this date, and here's all your checkpoints, and I get to be the dickhead that like,
oh wow,
hey, your shit's due in a week. Hey, your shit's due in 3 days. Hey, your shit's due. Hey, your shit's past due. Like that dude, where that's easy in the grand scheme of things, right? Because they're the ones creating everything. They have to put the time.
You're just running the schedule.
Yeah, trying to.
Yeah, orchestrating everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it. Like trying to orchestrate it, right? But there's a whole team behind me. I'm not the only one doing it. We have a full ops department, right? Obviously finance, all that type of stuff. Ernie Diaz, is
He's awesome.
The main art, I'd say, huddles all the art directors and creative directors for each brand. We call him Even Ernie.
Even Ernie.
It doesn't matter if he won the lottery. He's like, cool.
He's just he's always even Steven.
Yeah, just cool.
Yeah. Even Ernie. I like that.
Funny, he went to school with my brother. So
oh, really?
Yeah, San Luis Obispo.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
Do you
definitely
enjoy-
nonstop.
Yeah.
Every 60 days we're dropping new product, right? So at any one time you have a combination of 3 to 4 different deadlines versus the marketing for the product that drops now, the development of all the art that's due in a week, the catalog deadline for a season that's not out yet. It's like just this constant thing, right? Imagine filming a video part, and the day you finish the part and it premieres, you're like, 60 days later, here's your next fucking your next deadline, and you just took, a lot of time to really like figure out and strategize what spots you want to go to, what tricks you have to do, what's been done where, what hasn't been done.
Oh my God.
And for these dudes to like
need an Advil.
be creative month after month, year after year with like great ideas on a very tight deadline, and honestly too much work for, one art director to do, even if he's like freelancing stuff. It's pretty impressive what they pull off, you know, and there's no way in hell I could ever do it. I mean, I don't have a creative artistic bone in my body, right?
Yeah.
So, but those dudes deserve like all the props for all the product and everything that comes out of that building.
Incredible.
It's
It's like a
wow,
well-oiled machine over there, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean,
there's always hiccups.
There's always hiccups, but,
yeah, but
for sure, you know.
do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I like
good.
I like, you know, working with everyone that I work with and doing what I do. The drive I could do without, you know. It's been like 7 years of driving there 5 days a week, and it's 3 hours a day pretty much, 15 hours a week, 60 hours a month.
Yeah,
You start seeing the same
Get a
fucking
car that drives itself up there.
dude. The Tesla wouldn't help. You
No.
know, the carpool is just as slow as the normal, right?
I mean, but at least you could check your phone and do email.
I still check my
But-
phone.
But how does one get into this role? I mean, does it just kind of happen over time? You start
Yeah,
helping
just-
out with different
yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're the guy.
Yeah. I mean, you know, first with the brand stuff, and then
Sure.
there was a stint at Globe once I was done skating for Globe, and, you know, my pro shoe wasn't around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get to know, you know, one of my other best friends is Gary Valentine, the president of Globe North America. And you have a lot of offline conversations, and they understand that we all have a history, and you know, as skateboarders being in the industry, we know a lot more than we think we know.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you just need a little formal training and get your shit like structured to
Yes.
where you're a lot more valuable than someone with a PhD that comes in and, you know, might have the textbook abilities but doesn't know shit about the real world, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, man. Well, we'll talk about your new Globe shoe too.
The
new old
one.
one. Yeah. So you got on Globe like 97-ish. Is that about the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was skating for Etnies
Yeah.
first,
Etnies.
right? They had actually licensed the name Etnies from Elise. Remember that
Oh,
tennis shoe
yeah.
brand Elise?
That's
A
right.
brand in France. Obviously, Pierre André's from France,
Mhm.
right? They thought that they were going to lose the license, right? It was coming up, hadn't reworked.
That's why they changed the America.
So that's why they started America.
Ah.
And then when they started America, they figured, okay, we're starting a second brand. We should probably start like an elite brand called S,
Right.
right? And that was a interesting scenario because there's a group of us that were getting shoes made, like pro shoes, right? And there was this big shuffle happening. Like they put me on on America. I got an America sample. Then they brought me in and said, "Hey, Chet, we're gonna start this brand called S. We're gonna put all our effort. It's gonna be like the premier brand. Costin's gonna ride for 'em. I think there's too much power over at America. We need you on S."
Oh.
I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm getting a shoe. I don't care if it's like on S or
Yeah,
America.
yeah.
I just want a shoe,
Sure.
right? And it's same company, like same factories making the shit. All good.
Yeah.
So then got an S sample, and then a couple weeks later they call me back. They're like, hey, we really need you to ride for America.
No way.
I'm like, what the fuck? You just gave me the whole master plan of the S is gonna be the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you want me to
right?
kick me back over here.
Yeah, because it's shuffling Muska and like.
Actually,
Right,
we have
you
another
know.
brand called Sheep coming out.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not a vegan. So that was an interesting scenario, and you know, getting shuffled back to America. Then I started asking those questions like, "Hey, what's my royalty going to be on my shoe? Where's my contract?
Yeah.
Like, you know, when's it coming out? What's the you know quantities that you're going to do? You know, just."
Normal.
Well, for me, learning what I learned previously with some of the other stuff, I'm like asking the right questions, right?
Right.
And I'm like, hey, and by the way, I'd like to see it in paper on a contract. And
Sure.
they're just like, you know, they backpedal and like, you know, and through Ben and Tuss Pappas, they knew Gary. Gary flew over with Matt Hill from Globe. They started Globe in the U.S. Ben had a shoe, Tuss had a shoe, and that's when I was like, you know, the XYZ Platinum days.
Yeah.
Met Gary once at the Plan B ramp skating vert, ripping skater. And then like a couple months later, walked into Huntington Surf and Sport I just came from America, had my sample on, walked in to get like grip tape and bolts or something, right? Because that was like the shit you never had.
Yeah.
Fuck my
for
grip,
that,
right? And I walked in and he's like stocking shoes, right? I'm like, whoa, hey, Gary, what up? He's like, hey. I'm like, you're stocking shoes already? I just talked to you a couple of months ago and you're already stocking? He's like, yeah, fucking dial. He's like, what are you wearing? I'm like, my new sample. He's like, how much you getting paid? What are they paying you? What's your royalty?
No way.
Like, how often are they going to pay you your royalties? Is it on a 30-day lag, 60-day lag? Like, just started ranting. I was like, holy fuck, those are all the questions that I was just asking. And you know what? They couldn't tell me. He's like, come in next week. I'll lay it all right in front of you. Like, no bullshit. I'll put pen to paper. And I was like, all right. So I went in and met with him.
Wow.
And what are you going to do? I'm like, let me go think about it. He's like, no, what are you going to do? He's like, what's going to change between now and you going home and thinking about it? I'm like, nothing, you're fucking right. And
Signed it.
Signed it right there. And then it happened to be that I think they were doing the yellow video.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
Tech was doing the yellow
Sure.
video. Don had all my footage. He ended up being gone, and I walked in, grabbed all my
All your
DV tapes and
No way.
bounced, and that's the start of
Did you
Globe
even
for me.
talk to the...
Well, when he got back, I let him know. I was like, hey,
yeah.
you know, like,
Right.
you guys, you got Penny, you got Musker, you got Jamie Thomas,
You're good.
me leaving is not going to do anything. to
Did he
you
say,
guys.
like, well, by the way, mate, I don't know what happened. All your footage is gone. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, we lost it.
No, I told him I took all my
Okay.
tapes. You know what I mean? And those were the days where you know, I filmed with my friend Jeff Azer, so it's like it's not like Soltech paid some
Right.
dude to film
Oh,
me,
yeah.
and they owned all the footage.
You were
and
giving
all-
the footage.
Yeah,
Right,
I was
right,
giving
right.
them the
Wow.
footage.
So you had a sample of an S shoe of yours, Andy America?
Yeah.
Do you
Same
have those
shoe?
two?
Just different logos on them?
The S one was a little different, more like Fila inspired, because it was, you know,
Elevated, yeah.
elevated, right? And
Wow.
the America one, I forgot what shoe I ripped off.
You still have them?
No.
Oh,
no, no.
man.
I
Let's see
mean,
what they look
my first Globe shoe was the exact shoe as my America sample.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because I just was like, all right, well, I already have my shoe designed. Here it is.
No
Like,
way.
Just do that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the Chet Pro, the first shoe.
How many shoes did you have on Globe?
6.
6 shoes.
Yeah.
And that's worldwide. That's like,
Mhm.
it's a lot of money, Chet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know,
Where's it?
the CT4 was the pinnacle of like shoe sales.
Is that the
for
one
me.
that's behind you?
Yeah, that's that bad boy.
See, pull that down, Raj. Let me see that thing. Grab. Oh, this is fucking heavy. This thing.
It's puffy. It's like
Take to
it's like
the-
a it's like
put
a
the Powell thing
it's
over
like a
there.
pillow.
Look at this. This is a reissue of the.
Yep.
This is spot on.
Spot.
Exactly.
Exact.
It's got little ollie bump things and the.
Yeah.
Those were a big
Hard
shoe back
flips.
then, man.
Yeah, yeah. Those were amazing because it was a time where I was jumping down a lot of shit,
Right.
and you know, I was never a big fan of vulcanized.
Mm.
You know, Vans at the time was having a hard time because all the shoes went towards tech,
Mhm.
and Vans being known for the vulcanized authentics and all that stuff just couldn't get their tech shoes right.
Mm.
Globe was there at the right time. They came out with the nitrocell technology, you know, air soles when, you know, even DC didn't have them at the time.
Okay.
And the shoe just got better and better and better. You know, very difficult to skate in the first couple days.
I can imagine.
But once you started wearing it down, you know, it was one of those things that got like better and better and
Right.
better.
I mean, the whole thing is like it's got like no tongue. It's like the whole
internal,
thing is
it's like an internal sock, so I didn't have to lace my shoes and they'd stay on your feet. I got sick of, you know, stuffing extra tongues on
There,
your
right.
shoes, fucking flying
Sure.
in 5 different directions. Yeah, it was good. It's sort of an iteration of the CT3. Some of the panels are similar, and it just sort of morphed into the CT4. And yeah,
nitro cell.
it just, you know, it was one of those things where the stars aligned. I was still skating at the time, still had other brands that were backing me,
Mhm.
right? Came out with a shoe that sort of right time, right
Yeah.
place. And at first it did like okay. Like it was like, should we redesign that shoe? And then it had one season where it like whoop, sales like came up. And then all of a sudden it's like jocks are wearing it and emulators and then that's where it just like
It went to the masses.
yeah.
Huh.
In a good way.
Isn't it a trip?
Yeah.
Like, how does it, like, how?
That's
weird.
when like you know,
D3 was going off too then.
Yeah.
people wanted to skate.
It's like
And
Kenny Anderson's shoe on audio. That one with the rubber toe thing. That thing.
That shoe was
just-
solid.
The audio.
Yeah.
It was an audio.
Audio.
shoe, right?
Yeah.
So I owned a skate shop at the time when that came out, and that was one of the things that parents would always like bitch and moan about. I was like, I'm not gonna pay $80 for a pair of shoes, and then my kid needs new ones 2 weeks later.
Right.
So I wanted to sort of make a
Indestructible.
indestructible shoe. All those panels go all the way through, so you wear through one, there's still the panel underneath. You know, all that type of stuff.
And so these just came out. These are re-released.
Yeah, they re-released one color I think a year and a half ago.
Oh.
Just like timing around the book.
Oh,
you know,
the
unemployable
Unemployable, yeah.
Globe book.
My friend Jeremy has some pink pair.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy Cove, he's
Yeah.
the man.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
there was some celebrity girl wearing it. Who was wearing it?
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande.
Ariana
sorry.
Grande.
Yeah, she was wearing some pink ones, right?
Because it's what's hot in fashion.
Yeah. Right. That's incredible, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not what it was in the heyday, but of course, these days every dollar counts, right? So
Sure.
I'm stoked. It's you know, fond memories, being involved with, you know, the design process to the point where the designer probably did not like my phone calls.
Yeah.
You know, you put effort into something and you have a specific idea of what you want. You want to do what you can to see that through and you know.
It's a trip. I mean, even
Yeah.
a couple years ago, they're not even on your mind
Yeah.
that they would re-release.
No. Well, it's strange. We knew there'd always be a day where it would come back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean-
They come in cycles, yeah.
Yeah, everything goes in cycles,
Yeah.
right?
Was the designer in Australia? Were you like
Yeah,
on the phone?
Derek, he'd fly to the States,
Right.
and then, you know, email was new at the time.
Yeah.
So we'd
Yeah.
be able to, like, email back and forth, and I'd get samples sent and tear them up and be super pissed that the heel rake wasn't right, and
Oh.
my heel would
So you were
slip
very
out.
particular.
Yeah, yeah.
Very particular.
Yeah.
Paid off.
Hell
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Look at Stefan Janoski.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Persistence.
So I have an ongoing bet with Brian Reed formerly from Osiris.
Oh,
See
do
which
you?
one would do better?
Yeah.
D3 of this?
This.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, the re-releases you're talking about?
No. The
Oh.
original ones like this versus the original D3, mainly because I think
One who sold more?
he got me in North America,
Mm.
right? But Globe's international distribution was so strong that
Right.
like internationally and worldwide, I think,
You sold more than the D3?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. This is.
Breaking news.
I think.
Yeah.
I think.
And you designed that shoe. You didn't even get handed it.
Mm-mm.
You weren't late to the meeting. And just
Nope.
There you go.
as the story goes, right?
Early is on time, right?
Right.
On time is late, and late is fucking
Hey.
unacceptable.
Listen, bro. This is you. Hopefully, this is. I'll put you in a new tax bracket. Also, you know. It's great.
Yeah. So CT4.
Like, are you still on Globe, or is this
Technically,
how's-
no. I mean, you know, I haven't been a quote unquote marketed skateboarder on any team for quite a while. You know, Darkstar included. You know, I have that last throwback board that we re-released a year and a half ago, and that was like, that's it. You know,
Why not? Throw out a board every once in a while.
I'm just not down to milk it like that anymore. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm sure there's people out there who'd love to have a little Chet board.
well,
you know.
they could find an old one on eBay or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
I
I mean,
I'm
look.
past the point where I feel I need that thunder that the other dudes have it. It's their time. I'm 45. Like, I'm not going to be that dude that's 50 trying to hold on to my past.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But re-release
yeah.
the shoe, I'm good with that.
Yeah, for sure. So no sponsors, nothing. You're
No, I'm still
doing your
involved. You
thing.
know, like, I still rock Volcom clothing.
Yeah.
I'm not on the team, but
Okay.
you know, Steve Stratton still takes care of me, and
Oh.
my older brother Ryan's the media director over there, so still have like a long history with
Oh, wow.
Volcom. Globe, of course.
Yeah.
You know, they'll always be in my blood. I'll always be a part of that company in Dwindle in one way or another.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's it. I mean,
Wow.
I'm wearing Cole Haan shoes now, though.
What? What is that?
My wife
Are
reps
those
Cole Haan.
Those fancy?
They're like, you know, fancy shoes, but they're not too fancy. They're like your authentics. Just
Oh, yeah?
just comfortable though.
Perfect.
My feet are fucked up these days. Hip,
hip. You were talking about your hip before the show. You have hip, and then you had ankle surgery too, right?
Minor ankle surgery, just like bone chips taken out, like a scope.
Huh.
And that's it. That was when I was 35.
Yeah.
And after that, I was pretty much like, not so motivated to go jump down shit.
What was your worst injury?
Probably broken wrist, but just scaphoid. I mean, you could still see it right there.
Oh, a
right?
little ball popping out. Yeah.
Scaphoid.
Okay.
Switch frontside flip down Bricktown.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And it was of course, like, do it again, one more try.
I was gonna say, that was in
the
the
A-Team video.
A-Team video. Yeah.
That little Roddy Day1 part.
So you did it, and then you had to
and then redid it again, and then
Jeez. That's kind of
who
a
was
common,
it? Was it the filmer or the photographer?
It's the filmer.
Was it really?
Because he filmed it from the roof on the first one, like the higher angle, and he's like, "Let me get a fisheye angle." And I was like, "All right." That's back when we didn't have like
the double
7 cameras set up one session. You know?
Right.
Yeah, things have changed.
Yeah.
People are shooting videos on iPhone now.
Seriously, and in helicopters.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. You know, the worst thing for me is just the repetitive motion injuries, right? Like, I wish I did a lot more switch hard flips.
And that's what you think that it caused your hip to have problems.
Kick flips, frontside flips, hard flips,
yeah.
Same motion over and over and over, day after day after day, year after year after year. You know, you create a muscle imbalance and it shifts your pelvis and it, just fucks up the rest of your body. So I've been doing as much yoga and, Rolfing sessions over the past, 3 years.
Okay.
Trying to counterbalance all that, but it's going to take a long time, right?
The damage is there. It's there.
And, you can't reverse something overnight that you spent, 25 years doing, right?
Yeah.
So.
If we were having a session, right, and I came up to you and was like, how do I hard flip?
Yeah.
What would you tell me? What's the secrets? What do you do? Where do you put your foot? What are you thinking about?
Pray.
Just pray. Just fling it and pray.
No, I mean,
what's your technique?
Well, the first thing is you better be able to do a frontside pop shove it, right? If you
frontside pop shove
can't, then good luck, right? And there's a little secret. I know where to put my back foot and where to put the front foot. And
are you not going to tell me?
No.
Just watch this video parts. You'll figure it out.
It's like a strange foot positioning,
So
and then
it's like a scoop and then like
a scoop, and I don't, rather than trying to flick the board sideways, you flick the board forward.
Mm-hmm. Flick it forward. Your back foot's pushing it like the frontside pop shove.
Yeah, almost like pressure flip-ish.
Yeah,
in a way.
Pop.
It was just one of those tricks that it felt good. I could pop it, and I couldn't do straight kick flips all that well. I'm
okay.
Fuck it, frontside flips are okay. Hard flips, all right. Yeah, one of those things.
Yeah, I was never good at hard flips, man.
Yeah. Manuals, you got manuals.
I got manuals,
I mean, look at
but
that switch flip manual. Thank you. Courthouse. I looked you up on Wikipedia, and it says first line right there.
My Wikipedia is hilarious, by the way.
Roberts
There's
known
some
for
people who've written some funny.
Chris Roberts known for innovating the switch kick flip switch manual on West LA Courthouse.
wow.
It's pretty funny. I've gone on there and people change it and
Garvey, what's up
write
with your
some
cat,
different
Garvey?
shit.
What's the name of his cat?
I got a new cat, Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
She's
know.
great. Yeah.
Good. Where is it?
I don't live here. I just got a new plant named Hank too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not going to tell me the secret of a hard flip? Okay.
She's a good plant.
It's a he. But no. So you're not going to tell me the secret of a hard
I mean,
flip?
it's not that big of a secret. Just try to pop it and flick it as high
It's
as
a weird
you
trick
can.
to
just
start
one of those-
doing.
That's what I'm saying.
It took me a long time to learn it, but once you understand it, it kind of starts coming a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
But you were the first dude I saw in a video ever do it. You did up the. I was tripping.
Didn't watch Love Child?
I was before my time.
Yeah,
First video, one of the first videos I ever saw was 4-1-15. You had a profiles in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was a King T song or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
And you hard flipped up the little thing at the Huntington Park.
Yeah.
Up the little stage. I was blown away.
Yeah. I couldn't kickflip of it, but I could hard flip
Oh,
of
that's
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
But you grew up skating Huntington High School then, I'm assuming.
Huntington High.
Because that was a really
Mesa View was
Oh,
a
yeah.
really good one.
Yeah.
The ledges
The
that
ledges.
were painted yellow.
Yeah. But Huntington Park, you
High.
skated there a bunch. I saw in the videos you were there, but
Yeah, the one near the high school.
Yeah.
for sure. That was like we went from the ashtray at Murdy Park
yeah.
to Huntington High. It was fucking gold.
What's going on with Darkstar now? How's everything going? You guys got a great team going on.
Solid team.
Solid team.
Just dropped that video Autotelic.
That's right. That's
a
right.
couple weeks ago, which all came together pretty organically in
Okay.
terms of like a video. Usually you set out to create this whole video project and go
Yeah.
on trips and missions and have a budget and all that. And
Sure.
these days there's no budget.
It seemed like everyone just had footage and just kind of threw it all
Yeah,
together.
it's like,
Yeah.
you know, Manolo had a part almost ready and we were going to do
front
a
nose he did was sick.
single part for him. And then Baczynski's like, hey, I got some footage. And then Descenza always has shit.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
a
like,
machine.
Yeah, he's the best.
and then Santana, ripping up and coming am, super
Where's the
stylish.
cameo footage?
Cameo's in there.
Is it?
Yeah. He's in the montage.
Alright.
Some of his shit's like fiery.
Yeah, he's great.
And yeah, it just all came together. One of those
Sick.
things. You know,
Yeah.
Sock edited it.
Sock.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And still in the game.
It's great. And also, too, you guys do boards for like big box stores.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
How-
I want to
how-
ask
Walmart.
about that.
Yeah, go ahead, Raj.
No, I'm just gonna say it's like we did a thing for Skate Warehouse years ago when I worked at Dwindle, and I basically asked you what the deal was with price point boards because you guys get a lot of hate for that,
Yeah, for sure.
and it's after you explained it to me, I was like, how can anyone hate in that?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, the whole thing of it, you know, like I explained earlier, right? My mom didn't know that there is a quote unquote skateboard industry.
Right.
Right. Took me to Big Five. I got a piece of shit board. Lucky enough for me, I was involved with, you know, my brother who skated, eventually found Gremic, right? And kept skateboarding. Now, I could choose to make something for that market that works and rolls and kids could actually ride and get stoked on skateboarding and then find a Thrasher mag and then find their local skate shop and continue to skate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And just make the best product that you can in that price category for those parents that don't know that there's skate shops.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the more skateboarders there are, the better it is for skateboarding. You could say, oh, you're selling out, cheap ass Walmart shit. Well, you know about skateboarding. If you know about skateboarding, you know you're not going to buy a board at Walmart.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And, you know, it was also a tricky time in the industry. It was 2007, 2008. The economy wasn't doing great. And we had a chance to actually, you know, get some product in there and still be able to support our pro team, still have a travel budget, still support skateboard contests, stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Where a lot of brands, that's when they just went away.
Yep.
You know, except for, you know, the major players that had, you know, strong financing and all their logistics in line
They could
and all that type
sustain
of stuff. Yeah, they could sustain a downturn. And it was like, okay, we do that and take the chance and the repercussions,
Right.
right? Or we just go away, right? And I leave a team and a crew that I worked with for a long time just like out on the streets. So that had a big, you know, a big influence on our decision to like, you know what? Okay, let's do this. And let's just make it the best that we can
Right.
at that price level, right? Where those parents could afford those boards.
Yeah.
You know, is it something that I'm going to go pick up and shred my mini ramp on? No.
Right.
But
right.
I mean, it's better than, you know, what I had available to me at a Big Five.
because
I
most
mean-
of those boards they don't even roll.
No, yeah. But
Yeah.
they totally roll. The bushings are good, you
Right,
know.
right.
I mean, the graphics are legit. We don't make, you know, stuff that we make for the corridors to Walmart. We filter down those graphics from like, you know, our core seasons into our first push completes, which are really good first time completes.
Okay.
And then we let those graphics run until they don't do well, and then we let them sit for like 3 or 4 years, and then we pass them down to the licensing. So any
interesting.
core store that's like, oh, you're selling the same graphics, no, it's actually something you had 4 years ago and you stopped buying.
Right.
Like,
If you guys aren't doing it, some other cheap ass company is going to be doing
Yeah.
it. Like Raj says, like they're going to be selling these kids boards that don't even roll.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
and they're going to have the worst experience.
They're gonna hate skateboarding.
And
There you go.
A brand that technically would not give anything back to skateboarding.
Yeah.
Not support a pro team, not help dudes with travel, not give dudes, you know, what they need to do what they want to do.
Right.
Or support local contests and that type of shit. And every dollar that comes into the business helps you continue to do those things, right?
Yeah,
so the people
100%.
who just talk shit on that, it's like, okay, great, whatever. You don't get it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the internet, man. People talk shit about it. I know. It's so,
Yeah.
oh man. Well, I'm glad you're doing well, man. This whole Dwindle thing and Darkstar and man, you've had an illustrious career. Let me tell you.
That's been great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Any favorite like video parts you've had? You know, you've had a lot of them.
I really haven't had that many video parts.
Bro, I mean, you've been in a lot of videos.
Yeah,
Trans
but
World
like here
videos.
and there, nothing.
Let's talk about public domain.
Go, please, Raj, go.
What was that like?
It was amazing. It was the first, video I was ever in, and just being a part of that Powell experience and seeing what, how Stacy sort of orchestrated everything. It was rad, and that premiere was like, something I'll never forget. Being a kid and being like in LA at this premiere with all these people, and sort of like mind blowing.
It's like surreal.
The thing that I don't think people understand is you didn't have a year to film a part. It's like, hey, we're going out.
It's like shooting internet stuff now.
Yeah, it's like
You get a
we're
week to
going
do
out
it.
on this weekend. You're gonna come back the following weekend, and what you get, you get. What you don't, you don't.
Yep.
Right? And they take our clothes at the end of the day, make sure that we wear the same thing the next day and the following weekend, so it looks like cohesive and that it's all shot.
Are
in
they
one
taking
day.
your shoes?
No, they didn't take the shoes.
Socks?
No.
Okay. So they're just taking the shirt and the
Shirt
pants,
and the pants.
and
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
wearing a hat.
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, I was totally wearing a hat.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like a Quicksilver, that weird Bill hat.
But Stacy wanted the continuity of looking like it was all in one day.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
It's exactly what they do in Hollywood, right?
Sure.
I mean, you have
Yeah.
your set director that is in charge of wardrobe, and you check your clothes in, you check
Yep.
your clothes out.
Polaroids, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there.
I've been in Hollywood,
Yeah.
bro.
It was on Baywatch.
I was on Baywatch. That was just a background extra.
So video parts, I mean, I'd say Big Pants, Small Wheels, Santa
Okay.
Cruz video. I
Yeah.
actually had a chance to like film a little bit for it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the main reasons why I stopped fucking with handrails was like tried to board slide a handrail with their Racing Ever Slick board and just like
Oh shit!
shot
Just zinged
out,
out.
sacked it, rolled my ankle, half a stair, scorpioned all
Oh,
at once.
my
I was just like, all right, handrails is not my fucking thing.
It's amazing.
Oh,
Oh, God.
Everything works.
Sure.
And then, Channel 1, filmed some stuff for Channel 1. And like I said, recycled all that footage for XYZ Platinum.
Right.
Which was a good lesson, too, because, not everyone sees everything that you're in. And I think that was good for me at the time, where it's like Channel 1 had a certain following, but not everyone was into it. XYZ had a certain following. People never saw Channel 1 that saw
Oh, you
XYZ.
literally...
Pretty much.
Go ahead.
It's
You
like-
literally recycled
pretty
the
much
footage.
like you could look at my Channel 1 part and look at that XYZ Platinum video, Stars and Bars.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, oh, that trick was in that video and that trick was in that video.
Oh.
No one
But
did.
it's like,
Wow.
yeah. It's like
Okay.
Instagram posts these days. You post something today, post it again tomorrow.
Yeah, because nobody saw it. Just people
before,
didn't see
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Because the feed goes
Right.
too fucking quick.
What were we going to say, Raj?
I was gonna say Channel One never did like pro boards.
No, that was their whole thing.
Same way like Acme and all that.
Yeah, it was just like, nah, no pro boards.
Huh.
Yeah. Which at the time I didn't really, care. I got my first pro board and been through it, and it was just like, eh.
Oh, so you were
Steady paycheck.
pro, went to Channel 1. Now
Yeah.
you're not. You don't have a board.
Didn't have a board, but
Still
at
getting
that
paid,
time it
though.
wasn't the most important thing to me, right?
What about contests? Do you enjoy doing contests
I
and
like
stuff?
contests. I
Yeah?
tried, as hard as I could.
Okay. Well, I mean, you won one when you were.
Yeah,
15 or something,
15.
but-
And then there's a few contests I did good at.
Mm-hmm.
I think my best placing at Tampa Pro was 3rd or 4th. I think it's
It's pretty good.
Reynolds won, Gershon got 2nd, and I got 3rd or something. It was
Wow.
like 18 days.
That's rad.
That's as good as I could do with tampon.
I mean,
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
And where are you ranked
I
now?
was a dude tour the. My ranking.
yeah,
Let's see. Mr. Roberts is unranked.
I'm unranked.
Unranked.
This is the border rankings.
Mr. Border Ranker.
Right.
Overall, border rankings 573
Okay.
I was 573.
today, as of today.
Today.
373 or 370 something for street.
Oh.
And mine was like 6,582.
Where am I at?
Raj isn't even on the list.
No,
man.
I have a.
I was telling you,
profile
you know
on
what?
Oh, you do?
I think I'd
Apparently.
be better off if I was unranked.
I know when you
Unranked is
told me
sorta
that, I
like-
was like, unranked.
yeah.
But
Like-
Roger, you never skated a contest though, did you?
No.
Let's see.
So you probably have it. Yeah. Yeah, 6,000. How many are there?
A lot, apparently.
Apparently. I didn't even know it went up that high.
But, you know, I haven't
skated in
skated
the
a
world.
contest in 5, 6, 7 years or
Right.
something.
You said the last one you
It
did.
was Empire.
Some mini ramp
Empire
contest?
mini ramp contest in Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Great time, but, you know, after the qualifying, I'm just like, fuck, I got to skate again tomorrow.
Oh, no.
It's a lot of
You know,
skateboarding, man.
you get the old man soreness.
Yeah.
Man.
Are you still skating mini ramps now, or
Not really.
no?
I have a ramp in my backyard. And I look at it every day and I'm like, close my eyes. I'm like, yep, just had a rad session.
Yeah, just in your mind. In your mind.
Because that's, you know, you get to a certain age and your mind works and knows exactly what to do, but the body just does not follow.
Yeah.
Right? And then with the hip thing
Oh, yeah.
and low back, I'm just like, all right, look, if I can't go a couple weeks without, you know, hip and low back pain, I'm not going to just jump on my skateboard and do the things that fucked me up in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
I miss it. I mean, there's definitely, you know, those days where I'm like, fuck, something's missing in my life. Oh, yeah, I haven't skated in like a month.
Yeah.
You know?
But your kid skates now too, right? So
yeah,
you go out with
he's
him.
2. I'll
Yeah.
fuck around with him. And, you know, I'll do some 50-50s and some
Sure.
fakies and,
Right.
you know, stuff like that. But for the most part, the ramp's there for them to, at first, they just
Slide.
run up and slide down. And, you know, then it's like,
It's a big, expensive slide.
yeah.
Just have team meetings there and just have everyone skate.
Oh, there you go.
We did that once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good write-off.
There you go.
Did you get your hip looked at at all, or?
Yeah, I've had an MRI and X-rays, thinking it was a torn labrum. Nope, everything's clear. No joint issues.
No way.
No torn labrum. No nothing. It's strictly, I swear, it's from those fucking Hart flips.
Your body just kind of reformed or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah. I mean, the ankle's fine.
Yeah.
The only surgery I had, wrist. I mean, bothers me once in a while. But
Okay.
I think the scaphoid's kind of a common one in
Yeah,
skateboarders. I have
for
mine
sure.
broken too.
yeah.
Oh, is that in the
It's like in the
your
wrist.
wrist?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the like one of the small bones. It takes forever to heal because the smaller the bone, the less circulation you get. The less circulation you get,
Yeah.
the longer it takes to heal.
Yeah. I did break my wrist one time.
How did
It
that
wasn't
feel?
skating though. I fell out of a tree.
It's always
When you were a little kid, please
Yeah.
tell me where you were like a adult.
No. I was like, no, I was showing my brother I could jump and leap out to a branch and swing on it.
Oh,
I
shit.
missed. I did it 100 times, and then he comes out and I
course.
missed the branch.
It
Shit
could have been worse. You could have
happens.
been walking like Kelly. And
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. Jumping out of a tree seems pretty like a gnarly one kind of.
Well, you know, you're a
no,
kid. you
no,
know.
I know
Yeah.
it seems like a gnarly fall. It sounds like you missed a branch.
I
and
missed a
fall.
branch.
Yeah, that sounds pretty gnarly.
But back to video parts, I guess.
Yeah.
Battalion was one that I actually like got to put some effort into.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
the 4-in-1 profiles and all that stuff. You don't have like a year to film them. It's like, hey, deadline in a month. What can you do? You know,
Sure.
if
Yeah,
you got
sure.
enough shit, you get a part, and if you don't,
Right.
you don't.
You have
Right?
some footage laying around.
I'd say Globe Opinion was one of my like favorites for me. Right, got to travel first time to Barcelona,
Where was your first time out of the country?
Canada.
Canada.
I think Edmonton Powell tour.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
did the whole like U.S. tour with Powell when I was really young. Which looking back, I'm like, fuck.
yeah, I remember you guys.
Mom, Dad, you let me do that?
I remember seeing you guys in Boston at
Really?
Maximus. Yeah,
Yeah.
Huh.
like '89.
So-
Did you get Chet's autograph?
I think I was too busy trying to find my brother's board because I only stole my brother's board.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Crap,
I remember when you guys had a van though, like everyone was signing the van.
Yep.
Yep.
That was the van I'd get rolled in all the time. Yeah. Long drives. Dudes get bored, and what do? They beat up the little
kids.
No. What do you mean signing the van?
Like people just like graffitied the shit out of the van.
Yeah.
Oh, like fans and just whoever?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the sickest thing.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
So,
Is there anything else we should touch on or talk about? Man, we covered a lot, bro. This is great.
usually I'm like, damn, nightclub interviews are so long.
It's
the one thing. Yeah, I think pretty much touched on it all.
Yeah. Could we give you some 9 Club stuff to take home, bro?
No.
Chad, you're the first person that's denied me, man. Really?
There's a first time for everything, Chris.
Okay. Well.
No, yeah, I'll take a hat or a T-shirt or something like
What
that.
about a mug? Are you a coffee guy?
I'd be more stoked on a mug, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Coffee or tea? Where you?
I go in phases. Right now, it's
Yep.
coffee. When I do like the clean eating thing, it's tea.
What kind of tea do you? Like
green tea.
Matcha or like?
No, just like a normal.
Jasmine or something.
No
or,
jasmine.
No.
Just like straight green.
I'm getting it all wrong. I can't get your tea right.
Or English breakfast here and there, you know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I go off and on too. I'm on coffee. I'm on tea. It's
Yeah.
just this weird switch up thing.
Yeah.
What size you wear?
Large.
Large?
Go ahead, man. Usually Kelly goes and gets it, but Kelly's Roger's being nice and
He's a nice guy. Thanks, Raj.
Yeah.
He's thinking of the ankle.
So we went over your mornings. 4
Yep.
a.m. Is this
Yeah.
past your bedtime, by the way? So we're going on 8:30.
You said around 11 or
No,
something.
I'd be. My wife is probably rocking my son to sleep right now.
Okay, it's their bedtime now
It's their
for sure,
bedtime.
right?
I'm trying to coerce my daughter to go to sleep
'Cause she's the
and
older
put down
one.
the iPad and brush her teeth and put a diaper on.
Okay.
And then she'll finally fall asleep in my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I start to work again, and then carry her to her bed at 11 at night, and then she sneaks in at 3 in the morning or something.
No way, does she?
Yeah, full blocker.
Blocker.
Full blocker.
I mean, it's 3 a.m. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless.
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
It could happen at any time.
Right.
Wow, that's I couldn't imagine that type of schedule. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean,
it's.
you know.
I mean, I'm sure you get used to it, but
Yeah, your body adjusts, and believe me, there's some days where I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna sleep an extra hour.
and
right?
now it's summertime too, right? You have to
Yeah.
entertain. The kids aren't in school, so you got to entertain.
They're not in school anyway. The 4-year-old goes to preschool 3 times a week, and it's the most fucked up hours. It's from 8:30 to 12:30, right? So it's
8:30, 12:30.
what are you gonna do? How am I gonna get back from LA at 12:30 to pick up a kid?
That's
right?
weird.
And how can I leave at 8:30 to get to LA by 8?
Yeah.
And your wife works too, right?
Yeah.
So that's
I mean, my wife. I mean, she's a whole nother level of hustle. I could tell you that.
really.
Yeah, I mean, she does 90% of everything for the kids,
Huh.
right? But at the same time, she's, doing
She's
the
hustling.
PR biz with her partner, and
Wow.
has office in San Francisco, Costa Mesa, Culver City, New York, 50 employees.
It's amazing.
Repping brands like Cole Haan and Sanuk. Did Volcom forever. Helped launch Stance Socks back in the day. I mean,
Oh wow,
yeah,
successful.
those girls are again, whole nother level.
What can they do for us here? Can they? Thank you, Raj. We need some marketing. What is it? Marketing or PR? What'd you say?
PR.
PR.
Public relations. So they take what brands put together and make sure it gets out to the
Gets
world.
seen
And they,
and stuff,
they help
yeah.
with events and influencer seeding, and
Huh. Interesting.
she's killing it.
It's amazing.
What's your relationship with the Optics cameras?
So Opkicks was a client of theirs.
All right.
Yeah, and then just through that, I've known Muggs McGinnis for a long time. He's their marketing director, and just got involved on a small level.
Are those cameras out yet?
I don't know.
What is it? It's
It's a little micro camera that
more of a
basically will-
social media camera. It could magnetize it to some sunglasses. You wear it on a ring piece or a necklace, that type of thing.
Oh, it's like a little
Yeah, it's tiny.
tiny little camera.
Yeah. 2 of them come in an egg. It charges one while the other one's running, and then Bluetooth the stuff right to your phone or whatever app you're using. But
So I could just, if I'm wearing glasses, I could magnet to my glasses.
Like a
yeah,
sunglasses
yeah,
almost.
point of view stuff, right?
Raj loves the POVs.
POV.
Which, I've always wondered because the spectacles. Remember the Snapchats?
yeah,
Didn't
for sure.
really.
Didn't really take off.
No,
No.
Yeah.
no. But I've always thought that there's got to be
The quality was
something
good, though.
Yeah.
quality, but still, it didn't just.
Something there. And, you know, they
Oh.
did their first round of cameras, and I was just like, hey, I don't film that much. I'm not like that dude that's always got my
Social,
phone
yeah.
out and all that. So, like, let the people have it that are really into it, right?
Mhm.
And then, you know, as the production runs come through, I think it's just, you know, towards website fulfillment and shit like that. One of these
Gotcha.
days I'll get one, but, you know, even when I had a GoPro, it was like, stayed in my backpack, didn't really pull it out.
Right,
Use it a couple
right.
times right when you first get it, and then it's just like,
Hey, that's
Too much
this
trouble.
one sounds cool though.
yeah, it's
I
pretty
like
good.
the little, you know, the little poker cams that they use in the poker games. you know?
Yeah.
Listen, bro, when you set up your next board, here's some stickers.
Oh, so
You have one set up already
so
or
like
no?
in 10 years?
Yes. 10 years. Listen, if you ever get the cover of Thrasher, bro, we get photo incentives. 20
I'll
bucks.
look at the Powell manual and see where I should place
Where'd
the
you put that
sticker.
Powell manual, dude?
It's right behind him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. Make sure you.
I'll
put those-
I'll follow the Camp
Please
Brotherhood.
do. Here's a. Mark Appleyard drew Kelly.
Amazing.
That's a-
He did a fucking rad painting of my dog, actually.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He's a great artist,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, love it.
And he did one of me and Rush.
And Appleyard's mom, the mayor of Cayman Islands, if you ever go to Cayman, make sure Miss Appleyard picks you up and takes you around town.
Oh, yeah?
She's
Really?
shit, love her.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is she really the mayor of Cayman Islands?
No, but
Yeah,
yes.
it's
Yeah. It's a figure of speech.
Right. Here's our 9 Club New Era hat. There you go. That's
Alright,
you're a
look
hat
at that.
guy. And a couple of things here for you. We got a crew neck embroidered sweater.
Beauty.
We got
Quality.
a
Look at
large 9 Club tee for you. Look at
vertical
this,
bar logo?
bro. Vertical bar. And this is one of my favorites, bro.
that. Hoodie.
Are you a hoodie guy?
Yeah, I'd prefer a hood than a crew.
I mean, I know it's summertime, but
Yeah.
still, like, unwrap that in this winter, man. And you're going to be, you know, look at that.
cold.
It's my favorite.
That's a good one.
Listen,
Thank you, I
dude,
appreciate
Chet
it.
Thomas, man. This has been an honor.
Hey, if you need any CT force, just send me your size and I'll like hook you up.
We should do Raj, you should just slap me in some CT force.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 Club colorway.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had his first shoe.
Oh, you had his first shoe?
Yeah, back in the day.
Really?
The brown ones.
Damn, those are the only one that I have half of the pair. I have the left shoe.
They were
the
comfortable.
brown ones.
They were so comfortable.
That was a cool one.
Back then.
I remember that.
The
I never had a
City
pair,
Pro.
but they were cool.
That was the America sample that I had that
Oh, really?
became a globe shoe. Yeah.
I could actually totally see that now.
Yeah.
That being an American
Yeah.
shoe, too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I just remember it was like, the first time I put my foot in it was like super cushiony.
Yeah,
And then
because
the
they
rubber
actually
was
had
like really soft.
EVA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
You could have a cupsole that's made of just waffle,
Mhm.
where
Uh-huh.
they actually like put the structure of the sole in the mold, real waffly.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
Or
Like a
you could
grid.
have the actual cupsole that has a cutout in it where you drop the EVA foam into.
And so that's what you had.
Yeah. Yeah.
The shoe biz is interesting.
Mhm.
I never really got to design my own shoe. I did. I had a colorways for
Yeah,
audio,
yeah.
and then audio
Did really well.
Did really well, Raj. But then audio went out of business, or they dropped their whole skate team.
Chris Miller does Viore now. You know what Viore is?
No.
It's like a legit, I'd say, fitness brand, if that's what you would say. Like, not really action sports, like yoga, CrossFit,
Type of like a
crossover,
Lululemon
like
type
training. Yeah,
thing,
but like legit.
His wife came into that.
I don't know, but he's always been on it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like Chris
Yeah.
is a smart dude,
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
and I preferably would wear Viore over Lululemon or whatever,
Right.
however you
Yeah,
say
yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
Because I do yoga a lot because of my back and hip and all that shit, and it's been rad to see like the dudes like seeing more and more Viore, and I go to Core Power Yoga, and now they
Okay.
have like a big section of Viore and shit like that.
Oh,
so,
No
I've
idea
never
he was
even
involved
heard
with
of
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I'm not in the yoga
We need
world,
Chris on the
so-
show.
yeah, get Chris on it.
100%.
Yeah. He's fucking still skating so good.
No, I know.
Chad, man, this has been incredible.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Hey,
Good times.
Yeah.
I know you got daddy duty. You're a busy man. come back anytime. Stop by.
right.
We have our other show, Nightclub Experience. Come sit with us. We just talk skate, you know? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the View for skateboarding. It's
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, yeah, thanks again, bro.
You got it.
This is
Appreciate it.
amazing.
Come back and teach Chris how to hard flip.
Hard flips.
Yeah, please. Chris is serious. Dude, look at his face.
It's one of those tricks that I seriously always wanted to learn,
Yeah.
but it was so difficult for me that I didn't have the patience to keep, like,
It's like me and manuals. You know, it's like, talk about patience.
you
Jesus
try them
Christ,
for,
dude.
I've seen you do some manuals.
yeah.
Some. What,
Yeah.
hard flip nose manual?
I saw you do switch nose manual fakie hard flip in the
Oh.
profiles.
That's a good
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, damn, that was
Yeah.
long ass time
Yeah.
ago.
What did I watch of you today? I saw fakie tray, fakie manual. Oof.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
Oh, that's at the sand gaps, the little manual pad there.
No, it was,
Different one.
I think it was the one that you skated, Chris.
Oh, it's
yeah, the one that, yeah.
But the hard flip is like one of the, like, I'd be out on a session and I'd try it like 5 times. You know what I mean? And I would just be completely over it because my foot, and it was just like the most uncomfortable trick for me.
Yeah.
Like I just couldn't
it's
do
like
it.
me and heel flips, right?
Oh, you're not a heel
Not
flipper.
a heel flip, dude.
Oh,
Can you-
Varial heel, sure. Inward heel, no.
no.
Dude, that's a crazy
Backside
trick.
heel, yeah.
Maybe,
Sometimes
yeah.
straight heel flips. Ooh, credit card, look out.
Ooh.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
What size board do you prefer?
7.875.
7.875.
Yeah, I used to be like 7.5 all day long, which Baczynski still rides a 7.5.
I used to ride 775.
Then I went to 7.75.
Yeah.
And then I tried to 8. I'm like, little too big.
Little big.
So in between.
50s?
51s.
51s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Used to be 50s for days. 52's too big. 51's just right in between. Right. And we're talking millimeters, right? So like,
What kind of work?
But you know what's
Fingernails.
so funny? Like that 50, that 1 millimeter makes a difference.
it's just
Yeah, huge.
timing, right?
Yeah.
But then the thing that's fucked up is you could have the same truck, same wheels. You switch molds on your board, right? And then it fucks all that up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
So I've been riding the same mold, same truck, same wheels for like as long as I can remember.
What trucks?
Right now I'm riding the Tensor Mags.
That's Raj's truck.
Mainly because it's like they're light as hell.
Yeah.
And I need all the help I could get at these days.
Raj swears by him.
I love them.
Yeah.
He loves them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave him his own truck. Well, it's not out for sale,
Right.
but they put his name on it.
Believe me, I know. I did the range
Oh, you
plan.
did the